there was this BBC television show about the siege of Leningrad, which happened 60 years ago. And they were interviewing people who lived through 3 years when the Nazi army had surrounded Leningrad, 700 days or something, through 2.5 years. And a huge number of people died, a third of the population of the city, and just terrible, harsh winters and hardly any food. And they interviewed this old woman who was a child then, and she described what it was like for the television. And they asked, "What got you through?" And she said, "Come with me," and she told a story. She said, I was 8, 9 years old. My mother sent me out to get our bread ration. And it was sleeting rain, cold. And I went and I stood in line and I got our bread. And I was walking out to the street from the shop. And I slipped and fell into this mud puddle, and the bread fell into the mud. And I just sat there weeping. And another woman who walked out of the shop came over to me and tore her bread in half and gave me a piece of her bread. She said, "Now come." And the camera kind of followed her down the long, narrow corridor of her apartment in St. Petersburg. And she went into the kitchen and opened the cabinet and pulled out this domed porcelain bowl and took the top off. And inside was a kind of cotton napkin. And she took it out and she unfolded the napkin, and in the middle of it was a little piece of bread that she had saved. And she said, "This is what kept me going." And of course it wasn't the bread itself, but it was that moment of that woman saying, "Here, we too, me too, us too, together." So it's not that the Bodhisattva has to do it in some, grandiose, inflated way. You know this already. You can do it as an artist, as a parent, as a business person. One of the greatest teachers in Burma in the last 100 years was the, minister of finance and the head of the, all the monetary system when Burma was free under the free government, who happened to be a great meditation master. You can do it as a business person, as a teacher, or a healer or a cook, or whatever it is that you do. It can't be by imitation. It's got to be what's given to you and what comes through you. So a school principal liked to make sandwiches for the homeless in her inner city neighborhood. Several days a week, if she wasn't tired after school, she'd go up and make peanut butter, salami sandwiches, whatever, for the pleasure of it. She'd go down and distribute them, and she didn't care if people thanked her sometimes or not, or she wasn't even doing it because they thanked her, but it just felt right to do. After some time, the local media found out about it, and she became a kind of minor celebrity in her area. Inspired by her work, the other teachers and friends began to send her money for her ministry. To their surprise, they all received their money back with the short note that read, "Make your own damn sandwiches." Right? You will do it in your way. And there is no one else who can show you how you have to do it. In these whole tenfold universes, galaxies like the grains of sands on the Ganges, and Buddhas awakening in each of these universes, you are one of those Buddhas, awakening in your own unique form, using your thoughts and feelings and education and history and understanding, but holding it lightly, knowing that this limited form is not all of who you are, that who you are is vast and timeless, as Thich Nhat Hanh speaks about from that vision of his mother, is that which was never born and will never die.